Hi there, this is Bridget from the PlannerSpeechie. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be planning for the week of May 8th through 14th in my Sadie Stickers vertical planner. I'm going to be using a Sadie Stickers kit. This is her new format. It's called Golden. I've been eyeing this kit for a long time, so I was really excited to get it. The accents are foiled with rose gold, which is really pretty. You can see just the delicate features that she has here, including even the font is so tiny, but it's really beautiful. And I just loved this kit. So I'm using it for Mother's Day week. I'm also going to be pulling in some additional foil accents, and I'm lucky that I have the exact foil that she uses, so I can just layer on a couple more things. This foiling set is from Pink Diamond Planner Co. It's from a kit that I never got to finish planning, so I have all these extra little icons that I can definitely use for this week. And then the last thing I'm going to add is this washi from Sadie Stickers. It's got tiny little mushrooms on it. It's so beautiful and delicate, but I thought it would match with the aesthetic of the kit. As you can hear, I'm losing my voice a little bit, so I'm just going to speed up and get into it. Okay, so once again, I'm filming this voiceover in July, so I apologize if I get a little flustered because I'm not 100% sure what I did this week. So we're just going to start by laying down the washi. It's really beautiful. This kit is kind of special, and I just thought it reminded me of like my grandmother, my mother, and in strange ways. So I just decided let's go for it. Of course, the washi fits perfectly in this planner because the planner was made for these kinds of kits. I was trying to decide which headers I wanted to use across the top, and I opted with the florals. There's some weird part of me that does this because the florals are so signature to this particular kit, but the other headers I could potentially use in a different planner in a different way. Or a different week. So I try to use as much of the stuff that matches as possible, but then what ends up happening is because Sadie Stickers kits are very floral heavy, sometimes it looks a little too much, and so I have to balance that with white space. But I think it actually ended up working out really well. The quote box says, "When the sun whispers goodbye, soft gold, it hugs the earth as one beautiful soul." I just thought that was really pretty. Sometimes rose gold can look pink, and sometimes it can look coppery. And this is one of those kits where it really does look very pink. But one thing I do like about rose gold is that it can be a lot easier to read than, say, silver, which is much lighter. So I tried to figure out how I wanted to do the washi, and I decided to do this mushroom wild washi right up at the top. I'm sorry you can't see me putting it down. It got cut off by the camera. But then on top of that, I layered this lace washi over that because it was very skinny. So the two together were a very pleasing effect. But I just thought the mushrooms matched really well with this kind of country cozy kit. So then for the sidebar, I wanted to use the weekly trackers to track vitamins and reading, so I decided to use both. And then I used the extra headers that came with the kit to kind of separate the trackers from the quote box from the dinner planning. So I end up moving, yes, the dinner planning gets moved down to the bottom with another header in between, and then I just pulled one of the quarter flags to kind of emphasize what was going on. And I used the sticker, and I ended up sort of pulling it up and rejiggering it. It's this cute little cup full of, it looks like chamomile tea. It's very pretty. So again, I'm tracking my vitamins and I'm tracking my reading. And so now I'm ready to start laying down the full boxes. So I knew where I wanted the golden sunrise or sunset to go. I think that might even be a sunset, but it was a little trickier to place the other ones. Um, I did like that the florals were so different in this kit that you could kind of put them in different places. I tried to keep them away from the washi because it was the same design. So, and then it was just a matter of seeing, were there any themes resonant in my week? And I did something kind of different, which is I put two um, two things down on Friday. Friday, I was so wiped that I really didn't do very much other than go to work, come home, eat, and pass out. So I really had nothing to report on Friday. And so that's why I was like, you know what, let me just use all of them because they're so pretty and we might as well just put them all in. So I ended up using an extra full box on Sunday because I wanted to mark Mother's Day in a big way. And so I just ended up using that really pretty header. And like I said in my previous video, I've been putting the headers over the full boxes as well. And I use these like mini strips sort of as like a bunting to frame the image. And then I used the Pink Planner Diamond Co. Rose Gold to put that in. So this is me just trying to consolidate sheets. This is a cooking as you go, clean and cook as you go kind of thing, where in order to keep track of what you actually have, it's better to have fewer sheets to look at least in my opinion. So then I started to lay down the priority flags. I wanted to, I love these because there's only 3 in each one. And that's about as much priority as people should really have in a week. Sometimes when I see the 5s, it's good for longer checklists, but I keep reading all these things and watching all these reels that say like you should really have like a top 3 things that you need to do to accomplish that day. And if you can do those things, will you feel satisfied for the rest of your day? And I think 3 is a manageable number. And I'm not talking about stuff that everybody has to do every day. I'm talking about those 3 things that like make today special. So, is it making that doctor's appointment that you've been putting off for weeks? It shouldn't, your things shouldn't be like the same things that you do every day. It should be special to that day. So on Monday, I knew I needed to schedule an IEP, I needed to work on session plans, and I needed to do a speech and hearing screening. This was also the week of the book fair, so I wanted to make sure I got to the book fair on Monday morning because I know from experience, if you go anytime after Monday morning, you are stuck with whatever leftovers they've been hiding in the back that are not as good, and they're also just, boring. So then this is Teacher Appreciation Week, so I used a little box to note with a donut to note that there was free breakfast at school on Monday. I also did a lot of printing and laminating materials at home. And so I sort of created my own little box using the headers there. And then I'm filling out my priorities for Tuesday. Tuesday I had to write reports. I also had to work on session notes, and I had to confirm my observation time. So every year in my school, in the district, SLPs get observed by administrator once a week or once a year. And what's really interesting about that is that technically these are therapy sessions. So they're not private by any means, but in some cases, like for some of my students, there are sessions that I think they wouldn't care if a teacher was watching them. And then there are sessions where I truly believe that if a teacher was watching, it would impact their performance and therefore their therapy. So you have to be really careful about which session you use for observation, not just because you want to look good to your admin, which is also important, but because you don't want to damage the child's ability and the relationship with you. So, and my principal was doing my observation, and she is a very busy woman and didn't really get back to me until sort of last minute, which was fine. I was able to work with it and it was not a big deal at all, but it was just one of those things where it was like pressing on my mind because it was unfinished. So I'm just writing what I wrote for dinner that week. It was a very boring week. Chicken, chicken, salad, salad. We ordered from Metro Diner on Saturday, and then we ate the leftovers on Sunday. So very boring. I had an IEP meeting at 1:15. This was a very challenging meeting. It was very important. And I won't go into it, but this was kind of one of those game-changing IEP meetings for my career because it was a life experience I had not had as a clinician. And without giving personal details, basically we declared a student to be eligible and the parents denied services. And that is something that happens that parents are completely entitled to do, but it also just means that we really need to focus on what is best for the parent and the child, because they are at certain ages, the parent is as much like it is an essential team member always, but especially at that age. So it was really difficult to know that that was the case, and I'm hoping that with more time, you know, and more information, they could still change their minds. But until then, you know, we're respecting what the parents want, and that's always hard. Okay, so on Tuesday we were provided with a barbecue lunch, which was really delicious, and I got to eat with coworkers that I don't normally eat with, so that was really fun. Wednesday we had a different lunch provided. My speech observation went really, really well. It was the first time I used a sensory bin in speech, and I actually loved it. I also only had one student out of a group of 3, so that made it a little easier to sort of concentrate on what that child needed and what they were doing. So on Thursday, it was my half birthday. I had another IEP meeting and I helped a student through crisis. The student had a very intense meltdown, and it took about 40 minutes to get this child to sort of come around and feel more comfortable and regulated in their classroom. But I was able to help them out, and that was really important to me. So that was another life-changing thing. And then this was really awful. A student in my school, one of my students, their father passed away after a long struggle with cancer, and I had no idea that the child was even going through any of this. The child had never brought it up in therapy before. So it was pretty devastating, and I took a lot of time that day to reflect at home about what was really going on. On Thursday, we also had this like apple bar, which was really interesting. They brought in apples with a bunch of different toppings, like marshmallows and peanut butter and crunchy granola and all this other stuff. It was really good, very impressive. And like I mentioned Friday, this was a very difficult week. I was just so tired. I just collapsed on the sofa, and I don't think I really moved or did anything for a while. So on Saturday, I spoke with my mom. My goal was to mail a card. We had to do our car registration appointment at 8 in the morning, so that was like a get up and go kind of thing. It sucked that I wasn't able to sleep in after such a crazy week, but I went to bed so early the night before that I kind of managed it all together. I did do a Target run, but I left the store very quickly because it was the day before Mother's Day, and the store was really packed. It was so uncomfortably crowded that I just couldn't take it. So I went to the library and returned some of my books instead. We ordered from Metro Diner that night and we watched Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which is a fabulous movie if um, you're looking for something that's really adventurous without, there's some violence, but it's like really, really good. Just classic. Um, and then on Sunday was Mother's Day, and so we had our regular Sunday breakfast, and I printed some materials for school. This is me trying to use script, which I don't do as much of anymore, to be honest. I did FaceTime with my mom, who was in New York, and I had sent her a beautiful bouquet of flowers earlier that week, and so she really loved the flowers, and I think that was great. So anyway, that looks like the majority of my week. I feel like the spread came out looking really nice. I'm just going in to check on some of those empty spaces. So like on Tuesday, for example, I just added in that I was reading and that was, yeah, Tuesday. I was reading and reflecting at home. We watched West Wing and had a late working night, my husband and I together. So I just used a full box to put that in. And then I think on Thursday I just added that I was reflecting at home, and I added a Once More with Love sticker that came with a sampler that I had that I just sort of been using, and the colors went with it. So overall, I think it looks really good. Okay, so here we go. This is the final product. I think it looks really good. It it took me a while to get through all of the different types of stickers. I think it's very cohesive. It's beautiful. I do have a lot of stickers left. Really pretty ones too. So I am going to hold on to these for sure, but overall, I like how this came out, and I'm really excited that I got to use it for this week. So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned next time.